Hey guys, welcome back to Thunderdome Homestead. Well, if you're like me, you've probably noticed the price of 5-gallon food grade buckets skyrocket over the last couple of years since the Kung flu went around. Um, and started looking for ways to save money on them, whether it be source them in a different location or find somewhere else to buy them. And I came across something that was kind of interesting. Uh, so whether you're using it for whether it be container gardening or storing food, I've found that you can go to different places like maybe Kroger or Walmart or somewhere, any grocery store chain that has a bakery section. And you can go into that bakery section, and some places will either sell it to you for $1 or whether they'll just give them away to you. You can get food grade 5-gallon buckets. Now, granted, you'll need to clean them, wipe them out, disinfect them, wash them like a dish. But as long as you're using a 5-gallon Mylar bag inside of that, it doesn't really matter if it's a brand new bucket. I know there's a lot of people out there that won't store food in a used bucket. Well, again, if you have that Mylar bag, that's an extra layer of protection between the food and the bucket, so you don't have to worry quite as much about the fact that the bucket is used. Um, so I know if you look on Marketplace too, a lot of times you'll find somebody selling them for $1 or $2 a piece. Uh, and typically, it depends. Sometimes I do prefer to go to Walmart and get my buckets for, I think it's like either $3 or $4 a piece, and get the lids at Lowe's. I do prefer new buckets, but sometimes in a pinch, I will either find them at the grocery stores or, grab used ones or something to that effect. For example, I am expanding my container garden that I'm doing this year, and I need cheap buckets. Um, so, if you can see, I'll show you here. So these buckets are used. These ones right there. These 4 I'm putting taters in. And then you have this one here, but they're all used, as with those ones over there. Now, I also have some old tree pots and shrub pots and stuff that I've gotten. Actually, another thing you can do too is contact your local landscaping companies, because oftentimes they'll have all of these buckets that they planted, shrubs or stuff or trees in people's yards, and they'll bring them containers that they was in from the nursery home. So you can see about contacting them for some cheap ones as well. Some of them will just throw them away, but some of them will hold on to them, and never hurts to try. Another thing too, I'll show you guys today, is my container mix. So if you've priced out any potting mix lately, it is egregiously expensive. I mean, they're awfully proud of that stuff. So I mix my own. You can see this stuff. It's pretty loose. It looks pretty good. So I will take 1 part each of topsoil and peat moss, and then this cow manure and compost. And I'll mix that up real good in my wheelbarrow. And then I will go get some perlite, and I will put about 2 quarts, so I'll fill this up most of the way. It's just one of these little measuring cup things from Lowe's. And I'll mix that in there as well, and you can see it's kind of well incorporated. I mean, this stuff is very fine, and if I get it wet, it'll clump together. That's what you want. So initially on some of these, I had put this stuff here, which it's the vegetable and flower soil or whatever that comes in the bags from Lowe's. And I've noticed it was very woody. It's almost like a mulch, and stuff really wasn't growing too well. And that, like for example here, you know, I planted this kale in February and it's still in there, but you could see some of this. These green onions that I replanted, I used that, and they're off to the races. Alright guys, so I fat fingered the phone, and instead of hitting the camera turnaround button, I hit the stop button and ended the video accidentally. So back to what I was saying. So this soil mix right here, it's pretty good stuff. It's a lot lighter and fluffier, and I think it'll do quite well. So anyhow, yeah, so source your buckets in creative ways. I mean, if you can find them cheaper and get them cheaper, do it. It could be the difference between you putting away another couple 100 pounds of food. That being said, you know, you could save money on your buckets and use that money for another preparedness related item. And then also, seriously, mix your seed starting mix, or I'm sorry, mix your own soil, because you get a better quality soil, and it's a lot cheaper. I mean, you could, you know, take your topsoil, your peat moss, and your compost, mix it together, and you have pretty much 3 times as much soil for just about the same price as you would if you actually went and got a thing of potting mix. Anyhow, if you guys got something out of this, like, share, subscribe, and I'll talk to you later.